What are some unnoticed daily routines that feel harmless but are actually destructive in the long term? Sitting too long on the toilet. I used to spend about 30 minutes on the toilet every day. Not because I needed to, but because it felt like the only quiet place where I could take a break and breathe a little, especially with two very young kids at home. Unfortunately, over time that habit led to an anal fissure, which turned out to be incredibly painful and persistent. After trying many things to ease the discomfort with no real relief, I eventually chose to have surgery. The recovery was extremely tough. I couldn't even walk for a few days, and going to the bathroom became a challenge in itself. Now, me and my wife instead communicate if we are overwhelmed and take turns if we can't handle ourselves anymore. Totally not worth the pain for 30 minutes. Literally beating your ears with drums. On the questions of what's your advice to younger people, I say, if they want to hear when they're older, turn the music down. Overworking and not taking time off from work. I work for a small local business and get paid shit, but I'm very thankful that if I'm sick, my boss tells me to relax and feel better. Or if it's a nice day and last minute I text him that I'd like to take a mental health day, his answer is, enjoy it. People pleasing. If you're more concerned with making sure everyone around you is happy than you are about your own well-being, it will bite you in the ass. Eventually you will start to resent people because you will feel that they don't put in as much effort as you do, when in reality you are just doing too much. Take care of yourself or you will not be able to truly care for others. Learn early how to set and maintain proper boundaries. I have also slowly realized that it's possible to people please so much that you truly don't even know what you want anymore. Whether a small choice about dining out or major life decision on a career or family. Lack of sleep. I used to get just 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night and still felt totally fine in the morning, so I didn't think much of it. I felt good, but I did start noticing I was getting sick every couple of months. Just small colds and stuff, nothing major. Eventually I switched back to getting a solid 8 hours of sleep, and guess what? I haven't been sick in over 6 months. I know it's just my own experience and not scientific proof, but honestly, that's enough for me. I'm sticking with it. Doom scrolling. It massively screws with your brain. Social media, in general, can be tricky. All those constant little dopamine hits slowly drain your limited supply of motivation and focus for the day, often pulling you away from things that are actually better for your well-being. At the same time, it lowers your attention span and can make you feel like everyone else has a better life, which fuels anxiety or even depression. And instead of spending time in real-life social situations, we end up talking to random people online, when what we really need is to just go out, meet someone face-to-face, and build real connections. Expecting people to treat you the way you treat them. So many people go above and beyond for someone who only associates with them when they want something, but never return the favor. People who continuously choose to sweep things under the rug to keep the peace. No peace is kept that way, it just builds a mountain of resentment until one day it causes irreparable harm to the relationship, whether it's toxicity or indifference. And it makes the person who's willing to work through the issues look like they're the one who can't let things go. People, please learn how to have difficult conversations, constructively. Talking behind someone's back or constantly comparing ourselves to others, it sounds harmless, and it's surprisingly easy to fall into this mindset. But I think many people don't realize that our brains are actually being trained by these habits. The more we do it, the more automatic it becomes. Sure, sometimes there's a need to talk about others or even share rumors. I get it. It can feel like a way to understand where we stand in life by benchmarking ourselves against others. But when it becomes a habit, it's risky and can play against you. It's something I try to stay wary of because we can get into these habits no matter what age we are. Flicking cigarette butts. It seems like a little piece of trash, but the filter is plastic and it does not biodegrade. Butts are by far the most common litter in the whole world, killing millions of animals who eat them every year. Also, butts flicked from moving cars or by hikers have been known to cause massive wildfires. I'm not here to judge if you smoke, but find a proper trash can for your butts. Don't let a personal habit turn into a problem for everyone else. In my country, the fine for something like this can reach up to $4,000 US. The people who live here don't have the habit of throwing cigarette butts on the ground, but most immigrants do, and for that they receive fines, which, in my opinion, they fully deserve. Complaining. There is no point in complaining about anything, and I've found that by not having people in my life who complain, it's pretty amazing. Practice it. If you find yourself wanting to complain about something, stop and think of something you're grateful for and say or think that instead. Or think of a small action that could improve it and do that. Absolutely life-changing. People complain all the time about everything and think they're venting or that it's helpful to their emotional state to complain and let it out. It's not. It's the exact opposite. You're actually making your life one big unenjoyable complaint where everything becomes awful. If you stop complaining, suddenly everything improves and gets easier, especially the things you were complaining about. You can use it on simple and big things. Believe me, if it's raining and it's bothering you, the difference between someone who spends all day saying, "Ugh, it's raining," and thinking, "I wish it wasn't raining," versus someone who focuses on the positive of the day or takes a positive change because of it is huge. It's truly life-changing, and it makes you a much more likable, productive, and happy person. Complaints accomplish nothing. Don't be problem-focused and oriented. Focus on what you do have and on solutions. Every time you complain, you're making life harder for yourself and setting yourself back. And nobody gives a damn about all your little problems or wants to listen to you complain about work all the time, or the weather, or whatever it is. Living a sedentary lifestyle. The human body didn't evolve to function that way. Just getting up and breaking a sweat for 30 minutes a day has massive health impacts, physical and mental. There's a reason exercise can be an effective tool to manage things like anxiety and depression in many people. In addition to the obvious physical benefits, we aren't meant to sit around under artificial light and do nothing all day, and living that way has massive negative impacts across the board, from heart disease to cognition. Dating people who are obviously not emotionally stable and being around people that don't appreciate you. You don't realize, but your brain gets really messed up from things like that, and it will show up in ways you won't even realize and make your life so much harder. I wish I hadn't done the stupid things I did as a teenager, because I'd be so much more stable now. But I'll also wish people were just nicer, so I hadn't gone through all of it. Telling your kid to eat their whole plate, and that not doing so is wasteful. Often, it's the parents who misjudge the portion they should give to a child. Sometimes kids don't want to eat. Sometimes they don't want to eat because they are actually truly full. I'm an adult and still feel pressure to eat everything on my plate, even when I'm full, because it's just a few more bites, and I don't want to waste it. I live in an Eastern European country, and in our family, it's always been a rule that you don't leave the table until you've finished everything on your plate. This habit mainly comes from our grandparents. Back in the last century, both they and our parents lived through periods of hunger. Food was hard to get, stores were often empty, and many families relied mostly on what they could grow themselves. This is where the habit of not wasting food and valuing what's on the plate comes from. It took me 20 years and watching my dad die from alcoholism before I realized that the decisions I made in my 20s had a direct effect on my 30s. The decisions I'm making in my 30s will impact my life in the 40s. Now is the time to look after my body, look after my skin, prioritize sleep, get the exercise my body needs, and do whatever it takes to ensure I'm as healthy as I can be. Changing perception too. Instead of negatively thinking about exercising, I now see it as, I have the opportunity to strengthen my body. I get to exercise. I get to walk my dogs. I get to live a life I always dreamed of. I suffered with ill mental health for so long that it became part of my identity to always see things negatively. I somehow managed to pull myself out of the pit of despair, and now I see things with fresh eyes. Speeding and driving unsafely. People are quick to defend it online, but being on time or saving a few minutes is not worth losing your life or becoming permanently disabled. Almost all of my friends have the urge to drive fast, or when another car passes them, they try to catch up. Whenever I bring it up, I always get the same response. You don't get it. The car is like a part of me. I can feel it perfectly. But driving is the most dangerous thing you do on a daily basis. And while unsafe behaviors like phone use and speeding have been normalized, they will ruin your life eventually. This one is seriously underrated. Accident and fatality stats get posted all the time, but no one really pays attention. Where I live, they're doing construction at the toll booth on the highway I take to work, so I've been avoiding it until they're done. Even though it adds about 10 extra minutes to my commute, it's been so much better. I'm taking all back roads now, and while the traffic changes day to day, it's been a total game changer. No more tailgaters, no one cutting me off or nearly sideswiping me. Apparently not almost dying multiple times before your day starts makes things a tad easier. Consumerism. It's so normalized and incentivized in our culture that we're always buying stuff or saving up for the next thing we think we really need. We end up with lots of things we don't even use or value in the end. It's a collective addiction, and it's not making us appreciate what we already have. I've started trying to restrain myself more from impulse buys, wish listing items instead of putting them in the shopping cart, giving away stuff, and limiting my wardrobe to items I actually wear. It feels like a mental load has been taken off my shoulders. I'm far from being a minimalist, but just becoming more conscious about it has already made a difference. Plus, it's great for saving money as well, and can potentially ruin you financially if you don't control it. The rise of e-cigarettes and vapes. Not long ago, you didn't see nearly as many kids smoking, and there was one simple reason for that. Traditional cigarettes left a strong smell on your clothes and body, and if your parents smelled smoke on you when you got home, you were in serious trouble. Now, with vapes and e-cigarettes, that problem is gone. They're discreet, they don't leave a lingering smell, and kids can use them without getting caught. These days, no matter where I look, I see kids walking around with a vape in their mouth. I honestly think this is one of the most alarming issues when it comes to how we're educating and protecting our children. What other seemingly harmless behaviors do you think have long-term consequences? Leave your version in the comments. And don't forget to check out our other videos.